YouTube, my name is Mesa Sean, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Alright folks, we have a ton of Destiny 2 news to round up. In this video, we're going to go over everything you need to know for the Solstice of Heroes live event, which will be kicking off this Tuesday at Reset. We're going to go over the This Week at Bungie, and also we're going to go over a bunch of clarifications from the developers regarding Solstice of Heroes via DestinyRoundup.com. For the curious, I am all moved into my new apartment, I've got a whole new setup, and I cannot wait to stream on Tuesday and have a better looking background compared to my makeshift studio, where it basically was a dining room turned into a recording studio. Yeah, I have the whole place rigged with a whole bunch of RGB lighting, and I'm just going to keep adding to it and put a whole bunch of things in the background. But yeah, we'll be streaming live right here on YouTube on Tuesday at Reset for the kickoff of this live event. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to do a full tour of all the gear and what I'm using. And yeah, I'm thinking of turning the Ask Mesa series, which I do weekly, into maybe a podcast called the Mesa Cast. And with a new camera, new mic setup, I want to get a mixer, and I don't know, there's a whole bunch of things I want to do to this room. All right, let's get into the news. In a nutshell, the Solstice of Heroes event will have a new activity to do, but more importantly, we're trying to go and grind out these armor sets. Now, these armor sets, I think, are the best looking armor sets in the game, and they're going to be compatible with Armor 2.0. In fact, I'll cover in more detail later on. Once Shadowkeep comes out, we're going to bring our armor sets, or we're going to go visit Banshee in the tower, and we will have a Armor 2.0 version of the Solstice of Heroes gear. So it might be worth grinding out. I know for myself, I am. It's not like last year where you grinded out the Solstice gear, and it was pretty much useless once the Forsaken DLC came out. Let's get the nitty-gritty out of the way. This is all going to be about orbs, and also about elemental damage and elemental buffs. So each day the event will feature one of three elements: solar, arc, and void. Elemental kills will award you with elemental orbs. Picking up these orbs will let you complete objectives to upgrade your armor. You can create whatever orbs you need for the objectives you are working to achieve. You can also collect 30 orbs that match the daily element to apply an elemental buff for a brief time. Now, if you want a full guide on everything you need to know in terms of the upgrades for each piece of armor, and that's for the Hunter, Warlock, and the Titan, and to go from the green to the blue to the purple, click the link annotated on screen. I'm not going to put it in this video because it'll be here for 20 minutes, but safe to say, to get all the way up to the Majestic version of the armor, and even more for the Masterwork version of the Majestic armor, some of the requirements are brutal. So let's go through the buffs. We have Solar, Void, and Arc, and for each one of them, you want to equip that subclass and also weapons of that element. So for Solar, while empowered, Guardians emit a burning wave of energy that damages anything around them. For Void, crouch while empowered to become invisible and gain true sight plus enhanced ability regeneration. For Arc, while empowered, Guardians move with enhanced speed and deal greater melee and also sword damage. These effects will last for a short time or until you are defeated by your enemies, but have no fear, these buffs will not be active in competitive or Gambit Prime. Now, Cosmo did clarify over on Reddit when folks were asking about the other modes. He said, you will still get the change of pace in all other Crucible modes, so don't worry about competitive and don't worry about Gambit Prime. But they did not say anything about regular Gambit. I have a feeling regular Gambit is going to have a nice shakeup with this buff. We'll have to see on Tuesday. Back to the armor set. So we're going to go from Drained to Renewed to Majestic. So that's green, blue, and then also Legendary. Now, here's what Bungie has to say about Shadowkeep and Armor 2.0. We know that while upgrading these sets is a fun experience, it does take a commitment of time and effort. Lest it feel like a bummer earning the set just to have the new armor system make it somewhat obsolete when Shadowkeep releases. We decided, based on player feedback, to make the Solstice of Heroes armor set the first Armor 2.0 set you will receive, assuming you earn it, of course. Whatever full legendary sets you earn now have their new Armor 2.0 versions waiting for you to pick up from the gunsmith when Shadowkeep releases. I called this a while ago, guys, although I thought they might have given it to us early, meaning, hey, we can have a preview and play around with Armor 2.0 with the Solstice of Heroes gear, but hey, still cool nonetheless. And it says, you will be able to see only the set for the character you are logged in as. You will have to switch characters to claim the other eligible sets. So you got to make sure you get the full legendary sets of the Majestic gear from Solstice of Heroes. Now, there will be some armor glows like we had last year. So armor glows will be available for you to add to your Solstice of Heroes armor sets. They will show up on any version of the set you provide Guardians with for an enhanced look. Armor glows shine brightest when your subclass element aligns with the element of the glow. You will be able to purchase entire sets for either silver or bright dust. Armor glows will remain available for use after the Solstice of Heroes event ends. We will have a new activity where we will be doing combat meditations in a new play space called the European Aerial Zone. Now, the NPC Eva Levante, she will be back in the tower to kind of kick this thing off and run it while her and Ikora send us through these combat meditations. So Eva and Ikora have created a new ritual for you to hone your skills and take full advantage of the new elemental buffs. You're going to an entirely new area called the European Aerial Zone to take on Hive, Cabal, or fallen enemies. This is a new 3-player matchmade activity that can be launched from the tower or the director. So this is kind of sounding like it's going to be like the Verdant Forest, because listen on, your goal will be to defeat as many mini-bosses as possible before the time expires. When your time runs out, you will face off against a final boss. Once the boss is defeated, you will set out across the EAZ in search of treasure chests. The more mini-bosses you defeat, the more treasure will await you. The chest contains Solstice packages that you can open up with Solstice key fragments earned by completing any activity during the Solstice of Heroes. Consider them similar to the essence of Dawning. What's in the packages though? Well, we've got the Solstice Package Awards that can give you some legendary gear, some enhancement cores, and also materials. Once you've earned legendary Solstice armor, Solstice packages will reward you with additional armor so you can hunt for the roles with enhanced perks. Alright, that's cool. We're going to get enhanced perks. Now check this out. They're bringing back a SRL, a Sparrow Racing Sparrow. Collecting all of the Solstice legendary armor sets on all 3 classes will give you access to the EV37 Void Streak Sparrow. And yes, indeed, folks, that is a SRL Sparrow Racing League Sparrow from Destiny 1. Interesting. What do you guys think? Would you ever want to see Sparrow Racing come back? I always see so many different opinions on Twitter and also in the comment section. I think it would be cool to come back at some point as like a live event. I had a lot of fun with it. I do remember grinding for that class item the whole time to try to get it on all 3 characters, and it was just a fun side activity. When we discussed it at the Destiny Summit we had in year 1, I brought it up, and yeah, we had other things to talk about and more important things that needed to be fixed, but I think it would be cool. I think it would be a cool thing to bring back as a live event at some point. In the background, I'm showing some images of some ghost shells, some sparrows, ships, things like that that you can buy for silver or bright dust from Tess Everest. But I gotta be blunt with you guys, I don't care about that stuff. You know, I really wish with live events like this, like we had some Solstice weapons. Can you imagine if we had Solstice of Heroes weapons that had the glow and the look of the armor? How epic would that be? That's the one thing I don't understand about some of these live events is why can't they just throw some weapons in there? I would grind my ass off aside from getting the armor if I can get some like Solstice weapons. Imagine this, picture this. The armor looks this cool. Imagine we can get some weapons, even if they were reskins, but we can grind out Solstice of Heroes and get random rolls or random drops of different types of weapons that had the look of the Solstice of Heroes armor. That would be a selling point. You tell me, people will be grinding for the armor. I know I will be, especially that it will be compatible with Armor 2.0. But imagine Solstice weapons? How cool would that be? Sound off in the comment section. Do you think they should add weapons to live events like this? Moving on to the This Week at Bungie, they are setting the gold standard for what emblems should look like. Look at this emblem here. If you did play laser tag when Prometheus Lands was out of control in the Crucible way back when. And also we're getting one for the Lord of Wolves meta if you played in the Iron Banner when Lord of Wolves was not nerfed, because with the next update 2.5.2 that's coming, Lord of Wolves is catching a nerf. So to qualify for the Wolves Unleashed emblem, players must have finished an Iron Banner match between 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, June 18th, and 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, June 25th, or between the 23rd and also the 30th of July. The other emblem is called Prismatic Inferno, and God, I love this emblem. And yeah, this is the gold standard, guys. They got to make more emblems like this. You needed to have played in the Crucible between December 8th and December 12th of 2017. I will provide a link in the description if you want to figure out if you did indeed play in the Crucible that weekend. Now let's go through the update 2.5.2 and what you need to know in terms of the nerfs and changes. So for Lord of Wolves, yes, you were on the chopping block. Reducing the amount of ammo shotgun scavenger perks can give to Lord of Wolves when in the Release the Wolf state. They're decreasing the effective range on Lord of Wolves. I wish we would have gotten a percentage, but maybe they will when we get the patch notes on Tuesday. This decrease is more aggressive when in the Release the Wolves state. Tribute Hall triumphs for the Emperor's Gladiator and Scoundrel in uniform will no longer require a full set of Leviathan gear equipped to progress. Players will earn more points based on the number of gear pieces worn, similar to the other triumphs. Iron Banner quest objective values have been adjusted for future events, reducing grenade kills required by 50%, and also reducing sword kills required by 25%. For the Menagerie and also the Chalice, the Heroic Menagerie will drop a sword for the first time completion 100%. Subsequent completions will have a moderate chance to drop a sword at 25%. And in general, they're fixing an issue when completion notifications did not appear after completing bounties. There will also be a fix where players would sometimes not spawn during a Crucible match. This Tuesday on July 30th, Destiny 2 will be taken offline for about 15 minutes at 9:45 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It should be back online at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I will be live right here on YouTube at Reset, and as usual, because I'm on PlayStation 4 Pro, it's going to be a nightmare in terms of copying the file over and actually going live. But I'm going to go live regardless at 1 p.m. Eastern right here live on YouTube. And yeah, we can go through the Solstice of Heroes. And that's it, guys. Let me a good old hashtag made it to the end if you did make it to the end. And do me a favor, drop a like in this video only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at Mesa Sean. Check out my stream, usually and always on YouTube. And that's it. I am out of here like Vladimir.